Hello, everyone. I am Camille Miller, the founder and executive director of the Natural Life Business Partnership, a global network for soul-centered entrepreneurs. Welcome to our Six Figure Soul Summit. Thank you for joining us today. This is all about doing good and making money. And today we are highlighting another great expert, all about how she took her authentic self and created a business. And we're going to talk about scaling. Our expert today is Eva Vennari. She is the founder and CEO of the Elevate Institute, and she is also the creator of Reveal Optimal Health Intensive. One of the reasons I chose her to be a part of this summit is because of the way she really partners with other people to scale her business. And I think that's such an important piece of the relationships you have and create when you're smaller to be able to scale to that bigger. So welcome, Eva, to our summit.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. So in our pre-talk that we do right before we jump on camera is we talk a little bit about your business and what you do. So I'd love to start off before we jump in and how you partner, just about your life, what I say, like pre-authentic, like what you did in life that kind of brought you where you are now, your journey. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, and it's funny that you say that. What brought me to that journey, and it's like people often say to me, "I wish I had something of like passion like you do." I'm like, "What? Be careful what you watch, what you
Yeah.
wish for, because once you have that passion, you're pretty much, you own it, and
Yeah,
you're kind of you're chained to it in a way." And for
absolutely.
me, I was in natural stone, so I was an architectural rep going from beautiful buildings, talking to beautiful people about new places in the world that we were all going to get to use with natural stone and how to use it. So it was a very highly technical and physical job because I had to schlep the samples from here to there. And anyways, that was my work. It's kind of hard to be passionate about that, but I liked it. I liked it. It just wasn't something that I felt like, oh, this is my life's work.
Okay. And so what made you kind of go into the health side of it?
My own need. So, in this effort to get through the real estate bubble, everybody found themselves, yeah, dealing with working three times as hard to make the same pay, and it just burnt me out. I was raising my girls on my own, and that they were teenagers at the time, and it's like you got to put food on the table, take care of things, and also work and get your clients taken care of. And for me, that ended up with me burned out. I was extreme,
Mhm.
not just tired, not just like let's take a nap tired. It was a chronic fatigue, and I eventually was diagnosed with that. And that took some time. Doctors don't always go, oh, well, just make sure you rest, put your feet up more often. And it wasn't enough. Ended up with chronic, not only chronic fatigue, anxiety, insomnia, depression, fibromyalgia, a lot of what is called the invisibles, the invisible illnesses. And I wanted to find an answer. I wasn't looking to find a new career, but
That's how it happens, right? I feel
I
like
know.
everyone, they walk these two paths and their passion becomes their career. I love it.
Yeah. There was that turning moment. I just kept thinking to myself, if I give my body what it needs, it'll heal itself. And the doctors kept wanting to, that I was seeing, kept wanting to say, well, we don't know what the cause is other than your lifestyle. So maybe just change that and it will all turn around. But in the meantime, here, take these antidepressants, and here's some other medications for the pain because I had ended up with arthritis. And I said, I don't want to take medications.
Yeah.
They're gonna lead me down a road of like what my ex-husband was going through, and he was on 17 different medications.
Ooh.
Yeah, so the exact turning point, the moment when I realized I needed to make this my full-time, my business, was when he passed away.
Oh.
Yeah, so we were on the phone together, and I had just gone through the process of learning about if you give your body what it needs, it'll heal itself. I came across this article about the middle of the night, blessed with insomnia, about mineral imbalances. And it started talking about and describing the experiences I was having in my body. I went, oh my God, that's me. I wonder what these people have done to feel better. And they were talking about like the stuff that we're made of. It just needs to be replenished in a very analytical and specific way. It's not a guessing game. You can be very specific about it.
Right.
So as I learned about it and I started to apply it to my life, it worked. It wasn't like a 30-day cleanse that kind of helps in the meantime. It gave me permanent results along the way. And so finally I says, you know, I want to learn more about this for me, save money on it. And then I noticed people around me were having similar problems, and my ex-husband was one of them. And we were on the phone. I had just become certified, and he's telling me I've got heart prolapse and hepatitis C and diabetes, just diagnosed with that yesterday, and iron toxicity. And I said, hold up a minute. This stuff sounds an awful lot like what mineral balancing can help. He says, why don't you send me some of your hair? We'll figure this out. Hair is what we test.
Yeah.
And he laughed at me and he goes, no, my doctors have me, I'm fine. And 2 weeks later, he passed away from a massive heart attack.
Wow.
So it was that moment that I realized, I need to take this to the world. People need to know they have options.
That's a wake up.
Yeah, that was a wake up call.
Yeah,
so I went
up.
Yeah.
So you felt this purpose all of a sudden was greater than yourself.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Wow. Wow. All right. So you started your private practice.
Yep.
Right? How long ago was this?
2011. So he died in July, and I opened my doors in September of 2011. And I did that two world thing for a while. It was, architectural rep by day. and then in the evening hours when I could and on weekends, I was, marketing and talking to other people about this process and helping them as much as I could. And I did that for several years.
Yeah. So in our previous interview, we also talked about, those beginning stages where you struggled with charging the right amount.
Yep.
Right? And one of the things I loved is you gave the example of you went from charging 4 months, with the testing from, I think it was like $247 to $4,000 a month. Like, what a huge jump. And
It changed because I realized I was offering a different service than the person who trained me on how to do my business. So he already had masses. So he was taking a little bit from many people as far as monetarily goes, and providing a lot less service. I was giving one-on-one service. I was taking a lot longer with each person and going over their test results, how to start the program, hand-holding. And for him, it was more or less, I'm going to take here's your recommendations scribbled and, in front of and that was it. There wasn't much explanation. So I realized there's a big difference in the service I'm providing. I need to charge for that.
Yeah. And when you charged more, because I did the exactly same thing. One day I just kind of woke up, doubled my prices. And it was when someone came to me and just said, wow, you offer so much value. This was after I doubled. You offer so much value for what you give. And I'm like, wow. And I personally noticed a big difference in the client that I started to attract. Yeah. Did you see the same?
I did, yeah. On the lower end of the spectrum attracted people who didn't value it. They were more or less curious. Oh, gee, what do I find in my hair? And they weren't willing to take the steps to move forward. They weren't serious about it. They didn't take the information as seriously as I would have, or I did, and change their life with it. So as I raised my price, I noticed I attracted people who, while they received more, they needed me less. Like the neediness dropped.
Okay.
Maybe they were paying attention more. I don't know.
I think when you dump a lot of money, you take more value in it. It's a perceived value. It's probably there. I'm not saying it's not there, but you perceive it, and you're so much more committed to the program. Yeah. Right? When you spend a lot of money and you get a much higher quality person that's ready to do something. Yeah. Fabulous. Yeah. So, how did you go about starting to grow from there? Grow your business? Because I know that you have other wheels going.
I'm one of those multi-potentialists. If I sit still for too long, I get bored and I'm like, oh no, I've got to change things up. So I always wanted to keep the hair analysis as the basis and foundation of my work. And it still is. It still is the cornerstone of everything that we do at the Elevate Institute. And I realized that some of the modalities, including what we call the near infrared sauna, this is a product that you use to help detox the body. And it's great to have it in your home. And I had made my own, and decided, well, gee, I wonder, since I made my own and I'm recommending this item to my clients, I should probably make them, manufacture them. So that was the first step in realizing that I had something. Well, guess what? There's more than one mineral analysis person in the world. I'm going to market to my competitors and make them my clients by creating an affiliate program. So that was,
love it.
yeah. So that was kind of my first scalable affiliate program type situation. And I went, that makes a lot of sense.
That's incredible. So just so I understand, and for the people listening, they understand, you created a product, so other analysis people sold your product.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's beautiful. That's called leveraging your network.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Okay. And then from there?
From there, I choose a word of the year every year. And I want to say that way back in 2014 or 15, I thought, word of the year, collaboration. And everybody else was like, no, we don't want anything to do with that.
I love that.
I know. So I was looking for ways to work with other practitioners of all kinds. And it didn't matter, like I have this gift of being able to see where two things that seem unrelated actually have a common thread, where they connect and where they complement each other very well. And so I could see that with chiropractors. Often chiropractors have their own kind of one size fits all detox protocol that lasts a couple of weeks and that's it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why couldn't we talk about bringing on mineral analysis as a, and create a special program for you? Yeah. And it was funny. Nobody wanted to talk about that for the longest time. I had a lot of skittish people. Oh no, Eva, I do my own thing. And it wasn't until I'd say a couple of years ago. So it took 3 or 4 years for people to catch on that we're not losing business. We're creating greater value for our customers, because no one customer should stay with you for a life. You're an entryway. I see myself that way too. Yeah. So we're all, if we were, say, on the outside of a circle, and the inside of the circle is this whole you. And so at any point, any one of us could be the entry to this person's journey to their whole self. And it's not up to you to hold on to that client forever, because you can't give them the wealth of information that all of us need to provide them all along that way. Yeah. So I thought, okay, how can I scale or create a personalized program that fits with their product, that doesn't overstep on their toes or feel like their client is being stolen from them, and still bring value. And that's where I start all my conversations with people, that whether it's a naturopath, a chiropractor, oh my gosh, I'm thinking of a person who does hypnosis. Yes, hypnosis. I mean, hypothyroidism comes out of my mouth so often that's what came out first. But yeah, hypnotist. There's a ton of them, and even if it's not health related. For example, I partnered recently with a company that has an online, like a Match.com for you for hairstylists, and it's called Evami. Yeah, so they match you to your ideal hairstylist. And I says, look, you guys, you see people's hair first. You're up here. You're seeing if the color changes, if the texture changes, if the hair's falling out, you see where it's thinning. All of these things have a correlation with the physical body, what's going on with it internally, in ways that we downplay because we don't realize the importance of it. So I created a special hair analysis for health product just for their clients.
Incredible. What forethought.
Yeah.
Terrific. So I love what you said about building relationships, because that is one of the things that over and over and over again in our community, we're doing what's called the 20 for 2020 challenge. And it's probably how I met you, that I make the point to meet 20 new people every single month for the whole year of 2020, except I started in 2019. But anyway, but I started in September, and then I came up with, and I was like, wait, and I call it relationship marketing. Right? Because that network, you never know who you know or who that person knows and how you can expand in that. So I love it. And I choose a word of the year too. I do exactly the same. And my word this year was relationships.
Yes, that was my word this year too. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it really helped when I decided to do this summit. And it was kind of like not a last minute thing, but when we went into the pandemic, I saw so many soul-centered people or people in the service industries pull back and say, I don't want to charge. And I'm like, you'll go broke. Like you
Yeah.
have to charge. You can offer something or a coupon or do something, but you can't not work anymore.
Yeah.
And that's what actually was the foundation to building this. Like, let me show people that are really kicking it right now. Right? So other people understand how to scale and how to do it correctly and how to serve and add value to other people and their businesses just how
Yeah.
you have.
Yeah.
Perfect. I love it.
Well, the first thing we do is when we think that others can't spend money is we pull back and get smaller. And
Yep.
that's my signal to myself because I experience the same thing, but my response is different. I go, how can I expand into this? And so now, right now, my if you were pivot, call it that, is to take parts and pieces of the Reveal Optimal Health Intensive and offer them as online courses.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that. And that's how you're pivoting. So that's one of the questions was how are you pivoting in this pandemic? Like how has it changed your business or brought something new towards you? Because
Yeah,
I think personally, this is a time of rebirth.
it is.
I think amazing things are going to come out of this, once we get through the fear. And I think, those first 2 weeks, everyone was afraid. 4 weeks, we're like, now we're in that point of acceptance. At least here, I'm in New Jersey. I'm in the East Coast of the States. And I think this is week 10 for us.
Well, we tend to get used to it, our nervous system gets used to a state of stress, and we call that normal.
Right.
And so once we have the DEFCON 5 has been dropped down, if you will, to our previous normal, maybe it will never get back down to normal, but if we can make what we think about it back down to normal, we
Yeah.
will notice the difference. The weight will lift and we'll feel it. But right now, we get used to it. We get used to the state of high level of stress, and it's burning us out. It's burning a lot of people out. So they went from, oh my gosh, what do we do in this panic? And I noticed a lot of people were in not just fear, and they still are living in fear, making decisions from fear, which I'm like, that's kind of scary. Not a good thing. Yeah. But they're also that shock factor
Yeah.
is finally lifted, and now I'm able to have more conversations with people. Whereas before, I thought, okay, people don't want to have conversations. What I'll do is I'll work on my back end, if you will. What can
Yeah.
I offer that's different? What can I change up? What can I do? And so that's what I did during this time when everybody didn't want to talk. I was busy.
Yeah. I'm busier now than ever. I'm also creating this, but on the back end, I'm putting together, which I think is going to end up being like a 9-week course called Overcoming Under Earning, which
Cool.
just totally came through this period that would have never, wouldn't have even come to me. So, all right. So the next question is, how important is your faith or your spirituality in all of this? Because
it's a cornerstone.
you consider yourself soul-centered as I do, and
Yeah, absolutely. It is the belief that the universe has my back no matter what. So even in these moments when we're looking around and we're like, oh my God, this feels terrible. And then you get some of us, I've even got to it myself, this point where we think, well, what's the point? Why are we doing this? Why are we here? This doesn't feel joyful. What can I derive from this life if I have to be 6 feet away from everybody? And is this really living? And it's like getting past that and realizing that whatever comes of this on a greater level, it's not just going to be great for me. It's going to be to the best service of everybody. So there's something that we'll all come to, and it's not going to be because we sat on our butts waiting for something to come, but it's because we're doing the work to listen, pay attention to what's coming to us, like you did with this new course, Overcoming Under Earning, right? All of that. What great things can come of it? I tease, I go, World War II was horrific, but the number of inventions that have just benefited all of mankind is amazing. And meanwhile, was it the Swiss that were neutral? They're really good at making clocks. And so sometimes the greatest things that serve us come from the greatest adversity, and that I'm okay with that.
Yeah, beautiful. So, do you believe in the law of attraction?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm a big believer that we attract people like 2 steps behind where we are in life. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as you've grown, because I can see you've talked about your growth, probably as a woman as much as a business owner, and just kind of where you are in life. And I think when you become that six-figure soul, and embracing that soulfulness and that allowing and all of that, it changes who you are, like, and where you're going. Have you lost friends along the way? That's something
Oh
that
yeah.
comes up a lot, and I always say, with growth, you shed a little bit too.
Yeah, there've been a few boyfriends,
Partners, yeah, it happens a lot.
partners, yeah, a few of them that have just I decided I need to leave behind. When I was first starting out, I was with someone who said to me, well, Eva, why don't you make flyers and put them on the car windshields? Really? So small thinking didn't last too long.
Okay.
Even family members. I remember shutting out my family for a while because they thought I was crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, Eva, what are you doing? I don't understand this. That's weird. Just go back to work. No support whatsoever. And I went, okay, that's fine. I'll do this on my own.
Yeah.
So I've had to draw some boundaries and stick to that inner voice. When no one else believed in me, it was just a knowing that I wouldn't be in this place of making this decision, having the experiences that I've had, if it wasn't meant to be turned around for a service in the way that I feel called to do so. Some people go through an experience in life and they're like, that's mine. I get to own that. But for me, I've always felt a calling to make it and be part of, like you said earlier, part of something that's bigger than myself. And wanting to be a healer became a desire after I became one. And I went, oh, if I'm a healer, that means I'm supposed to. That's that law of attraction, right? So if you become a healer, you're attracting people who need to be healed. And so I found, rather than shying away from the individuals who just kind of pivoting or turning this conversation a little bit, most people, if they hear a complaint from others, they're like, okay, have a nice day, and they walk away. For me, I lean in, because the complaint is where I'm supposed to serve.
Pain starts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. What's next for you?
As I said earlier, if I don't expand, I just get bored. So I noticed that there was a stagnancy in my business, even though I had expanded and created the affiliate program and started my own certification program, and to help others who were attracted to this work, they can become certified nutritional counselors. And that's all great. But I thought, what else can I do? And it's a little bit of a sad story now, because we can't move between national borders right now. But I thought, how can I take my love of ancient civilization, ancient wisdom, ruins and ancient civilizations, and take that information and my other love of travel and make a business out of that? And so for a long time, I thought I would love to take people on retreats. And that's, retreats, they can be very nice, they can be enjoyable, but I wanted them to be a visceral experience. I wanted them to come home with, wow, I learned something now that I can use, for the rest of my life. It awakened me in a way. It expanded my consciousness. I now understand more about myself than I realized I could. That might be lofty, but why not? If you don't shoot for it, what are you going to get?
Exactly.
So I've been sharing this vision with several people over the course of the last 5 years. I said, I would love to take the healing centers of the world and network them together, and then utilize and leverage the other healers, almost like a timeshare situation, where we could incorporate all of our healing practices wherever we have our retreats. We could then enjoy each other's services for it's just a whole collaboration thing, like a big hot mess soup.
Love it.
And I'm sharing this vision with a girlfriend of mine who we, at the time, become really powerful business partners. So her clients were my clients and vice versa. We just referred to each other big time. And I'm sharing this vision with her, and she said to me, well, she's the first person who said this. She says, why don't we just start taking people on tours? So then birthed my second business called Illumination Tours. And it's Awaken the Light Within. It's where we take ancient wisdom and apply it to today's lifestyle for our benefit. And there's so much to learn from the way the ancients lived that we've forgotten about, we've become disconnected from. And yes, we can read a book, it's different when you get your hands in the earth at the location where you are, and you start feeling the energies of the ruins, why people built their buildings the way they built them. You can feel it. You can feel the energy of the planet differently in different places that you go. If you're sensitive, you can feel it.
Right.
And not everybody can. But those of us who feel it, there's no talking us out of the fact that we're feeling it. And it's there. So that's been put on pause. We had our trip to Peru was going to be in March. And we had to move that. Our trip to Belize was going to be in October. And by the way, my heart break because Halloween, full moon in the middle of a Mayan ruin. Right? So we were... that has been waylaid. So we're going to have to move everything to 2021.
Okay.
But that's the future of where we're bringing the teachings together. And then I still will continue with the foundation of the Elevate Institute and let that grow and morph along the way as it needs to.
Beautiful. Well, thank you, Eva, for joining us for today and sharing your story. Thank you, listeners, for being a part of this. Please, if you're listening, continue to listen to all of our speakers. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, who you'd love to hear from. We always want to just continue to offer more and more. This is going to be an evergreen product, so we are never taking down a speaker's information or your free gift. So no matter if you're watching this within a few weeks or a few years, it'll always be available. You'll be able to get in touch with any of our speakers, and you'll be able to search our entire database based on exactly what you're looking for, especially if you're trying to find someone just like you and see how they scaled. So thank you, Eva. Thanks for being a part of our summit.
It was fun.
I hope you guys will all, it was kind of fun, right? And I hope you guys will all join us for some other things. I'm looking for there it is, so I can end this. Bye, everyone.